5 doors of old age that must be closed. To enjoy peaceful happiness at the end of life, 5 doors of old age must be closed tightly. As we step into the golden years of life, a period of reflection, growth, and renewal begins. For many, this stage offers a chance to enjoy the fruits of a lifetime of effort, bask in the warmth of loved ones, and embrace the beauty of simpler days. However, peace and happiness in old age don't come by chance. They require intentional choices, especially learning to let go of what no longer serves us. Closing certain doors is essential for maintaining mental, emotional, and physical well-being in this new chapter. These doors are not meant to shut us off from the world but to protect the precious time and energy we have left. Here are the 5 key doors to close tightly to fully enjoy the serenity and happiness of old age. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. 1. The door to the past. The past is a rich tapestry of memories, moments of triumph, love, sacrifice, and sometimes heartache. It is where our identities were forged, our values shaped, and our legacies born. For many, reflecting on the past offers comforting reassurance, a reminder of resilience and purpose. However, when the past becomes a place where our thoughts linger too long, it can quietly rob us of the treasures in the present. In old age, the door to the past must not be slammed shut but gently closed, allowing us to glance back when we need its wisdom while freeing us to live fully in the here and now. Dwelling excessively on what was, be it the glory of achievements or the weight of regrets, can tether us to a time that no longer exists. The longing for what used to be can make today feel pale by comparison, diminishing the joy and potential of the present moment. Consider this: the past is like a beloved photo album. It's meant to be revisited occasionally, its stories cherished and shared. But no one lives in a photo album. If we try to dwell there, the beauty of the present blurs, and the opportunities of today slip away unnoticed. Some might say, "But my past holds so much, so many sacrifices, so much struggle. It defines me." And that's true, the past is a vital part of who we are. The years of hard work, the battles fought, and the families raised are the foundation of our lives, but they are not the entirety of our lives. The present is a continuation of the story, and the next chapters are still waiting to be written. To gently close the door to the past is not to forget it, it is to honor it without letting it dominate. It's about finding pride in the person you were while embracing the person you are now. Life, even in its later stages, has so much to offer: the laughter of grandchildren, the quiet pleasures of a hobby, the beauty of a sunset that feels even more precious now. These are the gifts of the present, but they require our attention and presence to be fully appreciated. Regret, in particular, can be a heavy chain that keeps us bound to the past. We all carry regrets, things we wish we'd done differently, words we wish we'd said or left unsaid. But regret is only useful when it teaches us, not when it traps us. Allow yourself to feel the lessons of regret, and then let them go. Forgive yourself as you would forgive a dear friend. After all, no one navigates life perfectly, and the fact that you've made it this far is a testament to your strength and perseverance. Likewise, nostalgia, while sweet, can sometimes be deceptive. It paints the past in soft, golden hues, making us yearn for times that may not have been as perfect as they now seem. Remember, the good old days had their struggles too. Life's beauty lies in its imperfection, and today is no less worthy of appreciation than yesterday. Living in the present doesn't mean denying the past, it means using it as a springboard, not an anchor. Celebrate your memories by sharing them with loved ones, but don't let them overshadow the moments you have now. Create new stories, even if they're smaller and quieter than those of your youth. A simple conversation with a neighbor, planting flowers in the garden, or learning a new recipe. These small joys build a life just as meaningful as the big milestones of the past. The door to the past will always be there, and it will always hold a piece of your heart. But by closing it gently, you make room for the richness of the present and the promise of tomorrow. Life, even in its final chapters, is a gift. Don't let the weight of yesterday prevent you from unwrapping today. 2. The door of endless ambition. Ambition has been the driving force for much of our lives. It is what carried us through late nights, difficult decisions, and countless challenges. It gave us purpose, spurred us to achieve, and shaped the paths we followed. But as we step into the later stages of life, the relentless pursuit of more must make way for something deeper: contentment. Closing the door of endless ambition is not to abandon purpose but to redefine it in a way that aligns with this precious chapter. For decades, many of us have measured success in milestones: climbing the corporate ladder, building a family, accumulating wealth, or achieving personal goals. While these pursuits can be fulfilling, they often came at a cost. There were sleepless nights and moments when time with loved ones was sacrificed in the relentless pressure to keep achieving. Now, old age offers the chance to step off this treadmill. It invites us to reassess what truly matters and to find joy in simpler, quieter victories. Endless ambition can be deceptive. It whispers that our worth is tied to what we accomplish, and that we must keep striving even when the rewards no longer serve us. It can keep us chasing goals that no longer align with who we are today. But the truth is that life in its later years isn't about proving ourselves to anyone, not even to ourselves. It's about embracing who we've become after a lifetime of effort and growth. Closing the door to endless ambition doesn't mean giving up on dreams. It means shifting our focus from external validation to inner fulfillment. Perhaps instead of striving to leave a bigger legacy, we focus on leaving a kinder one. Instead of pushing ourselves to achieve more accolades, we invest our time in relationships, hobbies, or causes that bring us genuine joy. This redefinition of ambition is not a surrender, it's a liberation. In this stage of life, ambition should serve us, not control us. It's no longer about climbing higher, but about grounding ourselves in what truly matters. Maybe it's finding delight in a grandchild's laughter or rediscovering a long-forgotten passion for painting, gardening, or music. Maybe it's as simple as dedicating time to a cause you believe in, mentoring someone who could benefit from your experience, or sitting quietly in the presence of nature, feeling a connection to something larger than yourself. For those of us who have always been driven by achievement, letting go of endless ambition can feel unsettling. There may be moments when we wonder, am I doing enough? Am I enough? But the truth is we've already done more than enough. The proof of our efforts is all around us, in the families we've raised, the communities we've served, and the lives we've touched. At this stage, enough isn't a question, it's a reality. The beauty of letting go is that it opens up space for peace. Without the pressure to achieve, we can fully appreciate the blessings we already have, the home that shelters us, the friendships that sustain us, and the memories that warm our hearts. These are the true rewards of a life well lived. Ambition may have built the foundation, but contentment builds the home. There is also wisdom in knowing when to rest. Just as the strongest tree knows when to shed its leaves, the wisest among us understand when it's time to stop striving and start savoring. Rest is not the absence of purpose but the fulfillment of it. It's the culmination of a life lived with intention, allowing us to enjoy the fruits of our labor without the constant need for more. As we close the door to endless ambition, we open ourselves to a new kind of freedom, a freedom where we are no longer defined by what we do but by who we are. A freedom to embrace the present moment without the shadow of the next goal looming over us. A freedom to live not for what's ahead but for what's already here. This is not giving up, it's giving into the richness of life as it is now. The victories of old age are quieter but no less profound. They are found in a heart that feels light, in relationships that feel deep, and in a soul that feels at peace. Closing the door to endless ambition doesn't mean closing the door to life. It means stepping into a life that is fuller, freer, and more meaningful than ever before. 3. The door to over-involvement in family matters. Family is at the heart of our lives. For decades, we've poured our love, energy, and sacrifices into raising children, supporting them through their challenges, and guiding them toward the lives they have today. It's natural to feel a deep connection to their successes and struggles, a bond that no passage of time can erase. But as we grow older, it's essential to close the door on over-involvement in family matters. Doing so isn't about distancing ourselves. It's about giving our loved ones the space to thrive and granting ourselves the peace to enjoy the role of a wise, loving supporter. As parents or grandparents, the instinct to protect and guide is ingrained in us. We see our children navigating the same storms we once faced, managing careers, raising their own families, making difficult choices, and we want to offer them the benefit of our experience. Yet, stepping too deeply into their lives can unintentionally create tension. They, like we once did, need room to learn, to make mistakes, and to find their own way. Over-involvement often stems from the best intentions. We want to help, to make their paths smoother, to shield them from pain. But in doing so, we risk depriving them of the lessons that come from facing challenges independently. Growth often comes from struggle, and resilience is born from learning how to rise after a fall. Just as we once needed the freedom to shape our own lives, so do our children and grandchildren. Letting go doesn't mean ceasing to care, it means shifting our role from that of a director to a trusted advisor. It's about offering guidance when asked without imposing it, about listening more and instructing less. This transition can be challenging, especially when we see decisions being made that we might not agree with. But trust is the cornerstone of this new relationship. Trust in their ability to make choices, even imperfect ones, and trust in the foundation we've laid for them. This shift also gives us the opportunity to rediscover ourselves. For so long, our identity may have been tied to being a provider, a protector, a decision-maker. Now, with the weight of those responsibilities lifted, we can explore who we are beyond those roles. It's a chance to nurture our own interests, deepen our relationships with our peers, and focus on our well-being. Closing the door to over-involvement doesn't mean closing the door to family. On the contrary, it often strengthens bonds. When we step back, it allows our children to come to us not out of obligation but out of love and respect. It fosters mutual appreciation and creates a relationship built on equality rather than dependence. Imagine the joy of watching your children and grandchildren grow, not because of your guidance, but because of their own determination and effort. Imagine the pride in seeing them overcome challenges, knowing that the strength they draw upon was nurtured by you but is now entirely their own. This is the gift of letting go. Of course, there will be moments when they falter, and it's natural to feel the pull to step in. In those times, remind yourself of the resilience they've shown before. Be there with open arms and a listening ear, but resist the urge to take over. They need to know that they can rely on themselves, even when life feels uncertain. Letting go is also an act of self-love. It allows you to prioritize your own happiness and peace. When you release the weight of trying to control outcomes for your family, you free yourself to fully embrace the present moment. You give yourself permission to focus on the joys of being a grandparent, the quiet pleasures of retirement, or the simple beauty of a day spent doing what you love. The door to over-involvement doesn't need to be locked forever. It can always be opened slightly when truly needed. But keeping it gently closed most of the time is an act of trust, wisdom, and respect for the journeys of those we love. It's a recognition that our greatest contribution to their lives has already been made, and that our role now is to cheer from the sidelines rather than direct from the stage. In letting go, we don't lose our connection to family, we deepen it. We step into a relationship of mutual respect and understanding, where love is given freely and not tied to control. We find peace in knowing that the seeds we've sown will grow strong, even without our constant tending. And perhaps most beautifully, we create space for our own growth, proving that even in old age, life's greatest lessons and joys are still waiting to unfold. 4. The door to harmful attachments. As the years unfold, life often gifts us with clarity, an understanding of what truly matters and what does not. Yet even in old age, some attachments linger, holding us back like shadows that refuse to dissipate. Whether they take the form of grudges, toxic relationships, unhealthy habits, or unresolved desires, these harmful attachments weigh on our hearts and minds, stealing peace from the precious moments we have left to live fully in this season of life. We must gently but firmly close the door to these burdens. Grudges are among the heaviest of these attachments. The wounds we carry from past betrayals, misunderstandings, or failures can remain sharp even after decades. It's tempting to hold on to them, to let them fester as reminders of wrongs endured. But the truth is, grudges do not hurt those who cause the pain, they hurt us. Carrying anger or resentment is like clutching a burning coal, hoping it will hurt someone else. In the end, we are the ones who get burned. Letting go of grudges is not about denying the pain or pretending the hurt didn't happen. It's about choosing forgiveness, not as a gift to others but as a gift to ourselves. Forgiveness releases the grip that anger has on our hearts, allowing us to find peace. It says, "I refuse to let this hurt define me or dictate my happiness." In letting go, we reclaim the joy and serenity that are rightfully ours. Toxic relationships are another source of harm that often persist into old age. Whether it's a friend who drains us with constant negativity, a family member who brings conflict instead of support, or an acquaintance who only reaches out when they need something, these relationships sap our energy. At this stage in life, every moment is precious. Surrounding ourselves with people who uplift and cherish us isn't just a preference, it's a necessity. Closing the door to toxic relationships doesn't mean acting with cruelty or cutting people off without thought. It means setting boundaries that protect our well-being. It's about choosing kindness for ourselves, recognizing that we deserve to spend our time with those who bring light, not darkness, into our lives. Sometimes this means walking away from long-standing connections, but doing so opens space for healthier, more meaningful relationships to flourish. Harmful habits can linger and hold us back as well. Perhaps it's clinging to behaviors that no longer serve us, overindulging in unhealthy foods, neglecting physical activity, or resisting medical advice. Or perhaps it's an attachment to outdated ways of thinking, such as believing we must always put others' needs before our own. These habits may feel familiar, even comforting, but they can prevent us from living the vibrant, fulfilling life we deserve. Letting go of harmful habits requires courage and self-awareness. It starts with small steps, choosing a walk over an extra hour in front of the TV, prioritizing a balanced meal, or learning to say no when a request feels overwhelming. Each positive choice is a declaration that our well-being matters and that we are worthy of care and attention. Then there's the attachment to unresolved desires, the what-ifs, and if-onlys, that haunt us. What if I had taken that job? If only I had been braver, kinder, or more patient. These thoughts are natural, but they can trap us in a cycle of regret and longing. The past cannot be rewritten, but the future is still ours to shape. Instead of mourning missed opportunities, we can focus on creating new ones. Every day is a chance to learn, to grow, and to find joy. Closing the door to harmful attachments doesn't mean forgetting or ignoring the lessons they've taught us. On the contrary, it means honoring those lessons by moving forward with wisdom and grace. It means recognizing that life is too short and too precious to be weighed down by what no longer serves us. As we gently close this door, we open ourselves to a life of greater freedom and peace. We make space for gratitude to flourish, for relationships to deepen, and for happiness to take root. In doing so, we embrace the beauty of this season of life. A time not defined by what we've lost but by what we've gained, wisdom, resilience, and the clarity to know that we deserve joy. Letting go is not always easy. It takes strength to release what has become familiar, even when it's harmful. But as we step into this act of courage, we discover a profound truth: the less we carry, the lighter and brighter our journey becomes. This is the gift of closing the door to harmful attachments, a life unburdened, a heart untroubled, and a soul at peace. 5. The door to fear of the future. As the years go by, the uncertainty of the future can cast a long shadow. Questions about health, financial security, or even the legacy we'll leave behind can weigh heavily on our minds. While some level of planning and caution is prudent, an excessive focus on what lies ahead can rob us of the joy available to us in the present. To fully embrace the serenity and happiness of old age, we must gently close the door to fear of the future. Fear of the unknown is a natural human experience, but in old age, it can feel magnified. We may worry about losing our independence, becoming a burden to our loved ones, or facing the inevitable with dignity and grace. These fears are valid, but allowing them to dominate our thoughts can create anxiety and prevent us from savoring the gifts of the here and now. Letting go of this fear starts with acceptance. Life is unpredictable, and while we cannot control every aspect of what's to come, we can control how we approach it. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means acknowledging uncertainty with courage and choosing to focus on what we can do today to prepare ourselves emotionally and practically for whatever lies ahead. One powerful antidote to fear is gratitude. By focusing on the blessings in our lives, our health, however imperfect, our relationships, however complex, our memories, however bittersweet, we remind ourselves that the present is enough. Gratitude shifts our perspective from what might go wrong to what is already right, grounding us in the richness of the moment. Planning for the future is important, but it should be done with balance. Practical steps like organizing finances, updating a will, or discussing care preferences with family can provide peace of mind. Once these preparations are made, it's essential to release the worry and trust that what you've done is enough. Overthinking and fretting will not change the course of the future, but they can diminish the quality of the present. It's also important to nurture a sense of faith in ourselves, in our loved ones, and for those who believe in something greater than ourselves. Faith is the quiet assurance that, no matter what happens, we have the strength and support to face it. It's the belief that the future, like the past and the present, will bring lessons, blessings, and opportunities for growth. Another way to quell fear is to stay engaged. A mind that is curious and active has little room for worry. Pursue activities that bring you joy, connect with others, and continue to learn. Whether it's through volunteering, joining a local club, or simply trying a new recipe, staying engaged with life helps anchor us in the present and reduces the tendency to dwell on an uncertain future. Finally, embrace the idea of legacy, not as a burden but as a celebration of the life you've lived. Your legacy isn't just the material possessions or accomplishments you leave behind. It's the love you've shared, the lessons you've taught, and the memories you've created. These intangible gifts are far more enduring and meaningful than any worry about leaving behind enough. Focus on the connections you're nurturing today, for they are the most profound parts of your legacy. Closing the door to fear of the future is not about ignoring it, it's about approaching it with intention, preparation, and trust. When we release the grip of fear, we make space for peace, joy, and a deeper appreciation of the life we're living now. The future will come in its own time and way, but today is here, ready to be embraced. By shutting out fear, we open the door to a fuller, richer life. We allow ourselves to live with hope rather than apprehension, with gratitude rather than worry. In doing so, we remind ourselves that even in old age, life remains a precious gift, one to be treasured, savored, and celebrated. Embracing the gift of the present. Life in its later years offers a kind of beauty that can only be appreciated with the wisdom of experience. It is a time when the rush of ambition, the demands of responsibility, and the pressures of youth give way to quieter, more meaningful joys. But to fully embrace this stage, we must intentionally release the burdens that no longer serve us, the attachments, fears, and patterns that weigh on our hearts and distract us from the present. Closing the doors to the past, endless ambition, over-involvement, harmful attachments, and fear of the future does not mean shutting ourselves off from the richness of life. It means creating space for what truly matters. It means choosing to focus on the love we share, the lessons we've learned, and the peace that comes from living authentically in the here and now. As we close these doors, we open others, doors to gratitude, connection, self-discovery, and joy. We begin to see that happiness in old age isn't about avoiding loss or clinging to what once was. It's about finding beauty in the moment and peace in the journey. It's about living with purpose, not for the past or the future, but for today. The journey of old age is one of transformation. It is a time to let go of what no longer serves us and to embrace what nourishes our souls. It is a time to honor the lives we've lived while continuing to grow, to love, and to find meaning in every day we are given. Let us move forward with courage and grace, trusting that by closing the right doors, we open ourselves to a life of greater freedom and deeper joy. The final chapters of our story are still being written, and they have the potential to be the most beautiful of all. Live them fully, cherish them deeply, and know that peace, love, and happiness are within reach, not somewhere in the distance but here, in this precious moment. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with your thoughts. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.